John, you got a gavel? Yes, sir.
Hey, Derek. Derek, I think I'll make it with all these pictures. Now, color pictures I can stay with.
Yeah, it's big color, black and white. Get all googly eyes. If I get tired, I'll just get turkeys and get all googly eyes.
That's right. Oh, shit, turn.
Good evening. The time is 6:03, and I hereby call the regular meeting of the City Council to order. Please bow your heads for the invocation.
Dear Heavenly Father, we ask for your blessing on the City Council meeting. Grant us the wisdom in discussions and help us make decisions that serve our community with fairness and integrity. Amen.
Amen.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mayor Lisi,
Here.
Councilmember Finley,
Here.
Councilmember Shepherd,
Here.
Councilmember Harwood.
Here.
Councilmember Clark,
Here.
Councilmember Marr.
Here.
Thank you. May I have a motion to confirm or adjust the agenda?
A motion to confirm.
And I'll second.
Second. Finley.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
The next regular meeting of the City Council will be held Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers at City Hall. The annual Paddle Paradise event will be held Saturday, September 27th at the Southside Kayak Launch. Participants may register in advance on the city's website or on-site registration beginning at 8 a.m. the morning of the event. And I think we're happy to welcome Rhonda Rhodes, who's here with the Hancock County Resource Center for the presentation of their annual report.
Thank y'all for having me. I'd like to introduce Kelly Kowalski. She is our Deputy Director. She's been with us a long time, but more recently in the Deputy Director role. As Anna said, I am Rhonda Rhodes. Congratulations to all of you that have recently been elected or taking a different position.
Thank you.
We appreciate y'all taking a few minutes to hear from us this evening. This is our annual report, which I have given out, and for those of you in the audience that do not have a copy, it is available on our website, and I'll have an extra copy I'll leave. I also, Jeannie put some things over by you, some of our brochures, and there's a card there that has a QR code for our assistance form if you have anybody who comes in and needs it. I didn't want to forget to tell you that. So we are a community development corporation, which means that we are a nonprofit corporation with a housing as part of our mission. And so we are funded probably about 95% federally. We have I think we have 6 different federal agencies that we get funding from. Our budget is about $2.5 million a year. We have 22 employees. Most of them live here in the county, but a lot of our services go outside the county. In the annual report, you'll see a complete listing of our programs. I am not going to read all that to you or talk about every single one of them. I'll just kind of hit some highlights. We have several veterans programs that work on housing and employment, and that's for veterans that are either homeless or at risk for homelessness, meaning they're unable to pay their rent at risk of eviction. Those programs serve the housing program serves the lower 4 counties, and then the employment program actually serves everything from Meridian to Hattiesburg and south. So we have 14 counties in that grant. We also have a program for people that are not veterans that have trouble with rent or homelessness, and we have a domestic violence survivors program, same kind of services. We started after Katrina as a result of trying to help people repair their homes, and we do still have a home rehab program. When there is a disaster in the area, we are the agency that the county has designated as the disaster recovery organization, and so we do help people. We're usually in the EMA. In the event of a hurricane, we have a person there, and when the calls start coming in for help, we're getting that information as well so that we can get out there and help them. And hopefully, we don't need to do any of that this year. So the newest program that we have is a program for older adults, and you do have to be under 80% of the area median income, but if you know anyone that needs small modifications to their home to make it safer for them to stay in, things like converting bathtubs to showers, transfer tub benches for bathrooms, widening bathroom doors, fixing floors so there's not a tripping hazard. I mean, those kinds of things. That's a new program that we are about halfway through the 3-year period, and we're going to do 100 homes over the 3 years. So we've done about 50, but have 50 more to go. So I'll just point out a couple things. This graphic you see here, these are some of the kind of things that we've done in 2024. Takes us a little bit to get it all together, so that's why we're kind of late in 2025 talking about it. But when you see that $14,786,000 annual impact, what that means is that is money that has come into the community as a result of the grants that we receive and has then been paid out in some form. When we do these home rehab programs and disaster recovery programs, we use local contractors. We don't use volunteers. I know that's a popular model for a lot of agencies, but after Katrina, we did not have the best of luck with the quality of work that was done by volunteers, and so we stopped doing that. So we pay local contractors. We also offer free foreclosure counseling. And so when someone gets in trouble and can't pay their house note, we can help them. We're HUD certified. I have 5 HUD certified counselors, 5 or 6 HUD certified counselors, nationally certified. They take an exam, and we can help those people with foreclosure, and they don't have to pay an attorney for that. Now, there are times we have to refer to an attorney, but for the most part, we can usually help with that. So some of that number you see may be homes that we helped prevent foreclosure on. Also, a very popular program that we have is our Hancock Youth Leadership Academy. Many of you may be familiar with that. We do bring our 8th grade students up to Diamond Head, and the mayor in the past, Tommy started it, would do a mock city council meeting with them, and it's a lot of fun. The kids love it, and I think the adults love it too. It is really a good time, but we have 2 programs there, 8th grade and high school, and they meet throughout the year numerous times, and it's a lot of fun. And then we do a program called Adulting Day, and some of you may have helped us with that, I think, but we bring all of the seniors to Hancock High School, and they have it's like a conference. They get to pick breakout sessions, and those topics are things like how to get a loan, or how to go grocery shopping, or what to do if somebody's bleeding, or when to call a doctor when you have a baby, or, it's how to change a flat tire. It's all those things that I'm old, I learned it in home ec, but, they don't teach that anymore. So, unless they can Google it and find it on YouTube, they don't know how to do it. So those are some things that we also work with the Hancock County Youth Court with families that have been separated. CASA works with the children. We work with the parents. So we try to get the parents back on track so they can get their kids back. And we also are piloting the first of its kind, actually, in the whole country, what's called a scattered site sober living program, where families that are in the drug treatment court program can receive assistance with housing as long as they comply with their drug treatment. So we're doing the housing, and the drug treatment court is doing the other part of it. And it's the first time that we're aware of that this has been done this way. So we're excited about that. So that's kind of a quick overview. There's some pictures in here. And then also, when I asked Mayor Jay Trapani if I could come talk to Waveland, he said, "You're not asking for money, are you?" And I said, "No, but if anybody wants to give me any, I will be happy to take it." But anyway, so this is our big fundraiser. Some of you are familiar with the Crawfish Cook-Off, and that's in April. So you have to save a date for that. But we also do smaller fundraisers around football. Like right now, we're selling the squares for the football pool for the Saints. Every game you have a chance to win $100. So we do that, and that kind of helps. It kind of helps cover some of those things that the grants don't cover. You want to add anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Anything I forgot to tell you?
No, I just want to thank you for all the work you do. I think,
You're
you're
welcome.
definitely the main source of help in the county for so many people, and we don't know what we'd do without you. So thank
Well,
you.
you're so welcome, and please, if you ever need anything, these ladies do call me sometimes. But if you need me, you know where I am, and we'll do our best.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And if you did want the date for their crawfish fundraiser, it's April 18th, for anybody that wants to mark their calendar.
Just added to my calendar.
Great. Let's see, next we have a presentation from the Hancock Education Foundation, and Stacy Nikes. Welcome.
Hi, first of all, thank you for having us. I'm Stacy Nikes, and I have with me our secretary for HEF, and her name is Catherine Tibbs. She lives here in Diamond Head. And we just want to talk to you just a little bit and give you some information. We feel like we've been on a talking tour. But let us tell you a little bit about our foundation. We're a nonprofit organization through the school. Some of you may have heard of like the Hawk Foundation, which deals with athletics and helps with that. We're Education Foundation. So we've been established since 2017, and one of our, and it's in there, actually our mission is to help recognize students and teachers individually. I was in the classroom for many years, and then a guidance counselor for many more, and there are just times when it's hard to get what you need for your classroom, or something comes up, or a student needs something. And so that's the kind of stuff that's hard to put into paperwork and get approval and get it back in a timely fashion. So we have been asked to help with some things that are just very simple that a teacher needed in her classroom. But anyhow, we want to recognize those students and teachers and help them any way we can. This past year, we had, or a year and a half ago, so we had 4 students who could not afford their cap and gown for graduation. So we were able to pay that. As a guidance counselor, that's what makes me want to work with this foundation, because a kid's not going to lie about not being able to afford their cap and gown after they've come so far. So in the 9 years of existence, some of the things that we've helped with, and there's a whole list there, I won't read them, but just so you'll know, that's some of the things that we've done. And I know you may say popcorn and popsicles, but I can't even tell you what some of our special needs students have been so happy to get popcorn and popsicles. So it's that kind of information that we want you to know about our foundation. And we're now doing it so that all the schools in Hancock County can come under one umbrella that can help with fundraising, and where we're able to help the elementaries, middle school, and high school. Before, it was mainly just helping our high school, but we have since tried to put everybody under that umbrella, because there are many things that they can apply for as far as grants and stuff like that, but they have to be under that umbrella. So just in case you didn't know that. So the plans in 25, we are planning a community parade, and that's really kind of where we wanted to give you the information tonight. In Hancock County, we've always had a simple little parade Friday morning. It starts at the high school, goes by the middle school, and ends in the Horseshoe, if you know where that area is. But we wanted to do a community-wide. I'd moved from the elementary school to the middle school, and the first time I saw it, all I could think about was that the little bitty kids don't ever get to see what they're working to come or to achieve one day. So we wanted to do a community-wide parade. And there are other schools, districts around here that do it, and we have never done it in Hancock County. So we know it may be little this first year, but we're trying to do that. So we have spoken to everybody and got everything approved through Board of Supervisors, Sheriffs, Port and Harbor, School District. But we wanted to let you know, because 21% of Hancock County's population is from right here in Diamond Head. So we wanted to let you know what we were doing. We're not asking for anything either, so we just wanted to tell you, but we did want to get you the information, because we're having we're having a float contest. They're doing, the high school are going to have their floats in there, but they're also having a People's Choice Award. So the students and student council have really gotten involved with the planning of this. I can say that in 30 years, I have never planned a parade, and I had no idea what it was going to take to plan a parade, okay? We had no idea. But we are going to have, at the end, we want every school to benefit from this, so every school is going to be there set up in the Horseshoe where they can sell their merch, like their shirts, whatever they have from their school. One group's selling water and sodas, and one group's selling popcorn. So we're trying to do it so that they can benefit from this as well, okay? But anyhow, so one of the other things, which is further down the line in January, we're doing a charity basketball tournament, and it's going to be to honor one of our coaches who passed away recently, Mr. Michael Ray Ladner. And so we paired up with the Little League, and they're going to help us with that. And so that's just one of our fundraisers that we're doing that we wanted to let you know about. But the only thing that we're really asking for you to do is to let people know, if you know anybody that wants to be in the parade that has a Jeep, a golf cart, whatever, we're doing it's $50 as for a commercial. And we have some schools that are doing it, and the schools get $25 for them to be in it. And we know we may be small this first year, but we're trying. So if you know anybody, and we just want to give you the information so that you would know. But if you have any questions, we have board meetings once a month, and if you ever need to know anything about what we're doing, we're very transparent. We're very broke, but we're very transparent. So, but we will answer any questions if you have anything about it.
So if anybody in the community did want to send y'all a donation.
We actually have our Facebook page, and it
Okay.
has a little, I think it's PayPal that people are doing that.
Okay.
And so, and we actually have, I think it's on that, is that Hancock Education?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so your
Yes.
Facebook, if they wanted to find you on Facebook, you're listed under
Yes,
the
yes,
Hancock
yes.
Education Foundation?
Yeah, we've
Okay.
learned, we had to learn how to set that up too.
Well, it's a great way to let people
Yeah,
know
thank
what
you.
you're doing.
I
And
will add that to my resume, and we will put it in there that we know how to plan a parade. But if anybody wants to be in the parade, any business, please tell us. We will gladly let them in our parade.
Well, thank
Thank
you for
you.
all your hard work, and that's going to be such a great memory for those kids.
We hope to start a tradition, so. we're
Sounds like you're well on your way.
Thank you.
Thank you for
guys.
coming.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, city managers report.
Thank you, Mayor. Going to keep this short so we can do our budget presentation here in a minute. A couple of updates on our projects we have. The Comey Drive, Calipona Pond is pretty much reached substantial completion. We should get that paperwork later this week. We've actually scheduled for a walkthrough of the project this Friday to finish that up. So everything should be close to being done. I think they're grading the sides and either sodding or seeding what needs to be done to be finished. But you can see the pond itself is starting to fill back up and is holding a lot of water there, which is what it's going to be doing there. The MDOT projects, contractors finishing up on that. You may have all noticed that the paving, to me, looks like it's almost is complete everywhere. So there's some temporary striping down. So as you're driving through there, please be careful as you're to stay in the right lane that you're supposed to be in. I'm sure they're waiting on the asphalt to cure, as same as we are for our paving project, and then they'll get out there and stripe it probably first of next week, depending on the weather as well as the contractor's time to get out there. The paving 2025 project is complete as far as all the paving goes. The contractor was going to be here Friday to pave, but they just got notice, or actually tomorrow to pave, or to stripe it. But I just got notice that they had to push that back to Monday. So they'll be out Monday to stripe Bayou Drive. And then we'll set up the walkthrough to make sure everything looks good. I know they went out last week to kind of walk through it themselves with the contractor to see if there were any driveways that they forgot to finish leveling off and everything. So they should have touched all those up and finished up on that. So we'll walk through it and see if there's anything else, and if there is, we'll check on it. The Coon Branch project is a 180-day project with an end date of December the 13th. There's actually a change order on the agenda tonight. There was an existing head wall that the contractors had to tie into, and they suggested that we take that old head wall down and just build one new head wall for both pipes coming in. It'll look better and it'll be a little more seamlessly attached. So it does increase the contract now, but we had several more water and sewer adjustments in the contract that aren't going to happen. So we'll be able to get those out at the end and probably end the project with a negative change order overall. So we'll just have to wait on that and see how we go. The canal dredging project, we got those bids in this week. or last week, and the bids actually came in under the total of the grant amount that we have, which is a wonderful thing. We've got to figure out some last-minute parts to it, and then we'll get all of it over to MDEQ for their final review and issue a notice to proceed. So we're hoping, I'm hoping maybe sometime in November we'll be able to issue that notice to proceed and get started, but we've got to wait on MDEQ to do that final review that they have. The canal dredging, the Jordan River Boardwalk, MDEQ has sent some initial comments back. The engineer's working on those changes, and we'll submit back to them for final corrections. Once we get all of that, they also added some additional language into the contract that MDEQ required, as these restore projects are. And so once we get all that back, we'll get approval. We can go out for advertisement and get started on that project very soon. Montjoy Creek, we are still back and forth with U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, but I think we finally came to a consensus for everybody. We have one little wetlands area that we've got to determine what we want to do or how we're going to manage that spot. Past that, I think everything else is pretty much in good shape. So should get that Corps of Engineer permit very soon, and then we can go out for advertisement on that project and get that one started. The hazard mitigation grants, actually just got an email this afternoon with updated paperwork, so we should be very close to getting started on those. So I'll check over all that when I get to the office tomorrow. We'll have a little more information, but we should be ready to get started on some of those here very soon. The bank stabilization project, engineer is finalizing the design of phase one. They said they'd have it to me Friday, so it's a couple of days behind, but hopefully we'll get it here by the end of this week and be able to review that and get it to you guys for you to look at, and then we'll get it out to advertise and get moving on that project. The Pelican Cove drainage project, I'm still waiting on the engineer to get back with me on the total probable cost on that project and see if we can't move forward. We do have a little bit of ARPA money left over that we'll be able to focus on using on this project as an additional drainage project, and then we'll see what else, depending on what the total cost is, if we can move forward on it. And that's it for me right now.
Thank you so much. Anyone have any questions for the city manager?
Hey, John, on the MDOT projects, they're going to be completing the striping in the next 2 weeks, weather permitting.
I hope so.
In the next few weeks, are they going to mow the lawn on the circle or transfer it over to our authority to do?
That's a good question. I believe they'll probably mow it themselves one time to get it all finished. I'm sure that'll probably be a requirement of MDOT to mow it and give the final product to turn over back to MDOT, because you got to think about it, the contractor has it right now, so they'll have to turn it over to MDOT. MDOT will have to do all the inspections, make sure everything's good. Then they'll turn it back over to the city to continue to mow that square or triangle that we work on each side. So,
Okay.
But either way, if not, we'll mow it and get it all cleaned up, looking good.
All right, and the other one is on the Rotten Bayou Nature Trail. Can you tell me, this says phase one, what the 5 phases, where they would be and how they would?
Roughly
advance?
overall, this is going to connect from the end of the Montjoy Creek Nature Trail down to Noma Drive, going through mostly Secretary of State land. We are looking at making one more connection there on the Noma Drive circle, right there where that it's a right-of-way actually for a roadway. And I guess if we ever build a road, we'd lose that part, but it's okay for now.
Would it come
utilize.
out to Rotten Bayou at some point
Yes, it'll all get all the way out to the more or less edge of
near
the
the
land.
interstate, or?
No, we will not go into the interstate. This will go from Noma Drive up to Montjoy Creek, so it'll just be on that side.
Okay.
So it'll kind of connect the boat launch to the end of the Noma Montjoy Creek Nature Trail.
Okay, thanks.
No.
Anyone down here?
Nothing.
Yes, John, just a reminder, at the intersection of Diamond Head Drive North and Bayou, where they had they left the equipment there and had some kind of diesel or oil runoff.
Yes.
Nothing's ever going to grow there, and you were going to talk to them about
Yes.
Scraping down.
Yeah, if they haven't done it already, which as far as I've seen, they haven't, that'll be in our walkthrough to have them clean that area up. And if they just scrape it, that's probably enough for us. We
Yeah,
can
they
have,
scrape it, just
we-
get-
yeah,
lose
we-
a lot of the loose
Public Works can
gravel off there,
throw a
set
little,
that out of
yeah.
there.
Yeah, Public Works can throw some little dirt in there and make the grass grow again, so.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
And I just have two quick things. The canal dredging, what are they doing with the spoils, all the silt that they dredge?
Sure, all that is actually going to the beneficial use site of the Wolf River.
Okay.
So that was is a marsh restoration project that maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they finished up on.
So
And
it's
so
still
all
going.
of this will go over there to rebuild the marsh at the end of the Wolf River.
Okay, great. And then I just wanted to thank you for all the work you've been doing behind the scenes. Obviously, you do lots of things that a lot of people never know about, but I did want everyone to know that you're working on some landscaping plans and ideas to finish the roundabouts properly.
Oh,
And
yes.
I know you don't have a proposal for us yet, but one's coming, so we're looking forward to seeing that when it's ready. But thanks for
Absolutely.
what you've been doing with that,
Sure.
because we're committed to making our gateway beautiful. So, moving on, are there any public comments on agenda items?
No, we have one for the non-agenda.
Okay, thank you. Any council comments?
I
Okay.
just have one thing to say, that Thursday is open jam
Ah,
out here from 6 to 8. So I hope you all come out. And John, will there be a food truck too?
The last company just quit, and they opened their restaurant, so they really aren't pushing that food truck anymore.
Okay.
But we'll try to find somebody to come out.
Awesome.
okay, thanks. Let's see. Okay, so at this time, I will open our fiscal year '26 budget hearing, and I'll turn it over to the city manager for his presentation.
Speak directly to you guys. As if you haven't heard enough from me tonight. Hopefully the thing will work. Thank you all for being here for this budget presentation.
Should we get the
City-
lights? Should we get the lights?
Mr. Finley, if you could.
Thank you, sir.
The elected officials here in Diamond Head, we have mayor, councilman at large, and our 4 ward members. Oh, I can't see.
Not judge me.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, so what is the budget? The budget is the city's annual budget. It's really a plan of what we are going to do as a city with the revenues and expenditures that we have. So it's just our historical goals that we're trying to reach. The areas of focus for the city of Diamond Head, of course, is public safety, which, of course, we're a very safe city. Our drainage projects, beautification, as you just mentioned, Mayor, the amenities that are out there, our community, active community, our commercial development, which is a big focus that we've been working on, and efficiencies of our public services. So our proposed 2026 budget expenditures are $17,741,000 and some change. Here's a overall of our revenues and expenditures for next year, the FY26, and then what our FY25 is by comparison. Roughly, the revenue's down a little bit just because our grant revenues are not going to be as high, and then our expenditures are down tremendously. And that's going to change a lot, unfortunately, because the canal dredging project, I was hoping that we would have a PO for already in '25 that would then have to transfer over to '26. So I didn't budget it in '26, but we'll have to make that budget amendment when we get ready. But that's almost a $4.5 million for that one project. But either way, the rest of the grant revenues or the grant expenditures are less because we already have the grants under, or the projects under contract. So the expense is already in this year, and that will roll over to next year when we get, when we end the fiscal year of '25. Our budget fund balance at start of '25 was $1.6 million. Projected for FY '26 is $1.9 million. We'll have a transfer in from, well, it's actually a little less than 100,000. We actually budgeted now for about 85,000 coming in from interest off of our contingent, oh, no, not contingent, operating, no, yeah, our operating contingency monies. Then transfer out for our other funds, and that's for the grant matches that we have. That number may or may not be met depending on what we receive, if we do receive anything in a grant for next year. So that overall tells us we have a deficit for next year of $623,000, which does look bad, but it is because we are anticipating those transfer outs for those grants. That just did not happen this year. So looking at our beginning cash balance expected of $1.3 million, our contingency fund balance is going to still be at $2 million as we have not had to use that this year. So we'll have an unrestricted cash balance of 1.1, almost $1.2 million. Our 3-month operating expenses for next year projected is about $1.4 million. So we're a little under where we should be, but I don't think that's going to be an issue once we close out 25. I think we have several expenditures that aren't going to happen in 25, and that money will roll over into our fund balance. Our FY26 revenues, we are once again going to operate on 29.5 mills. For FY26, that is not a change or an increase from FY25. Our estimated total evaluation, this was in June, I think he's got this to us, so or maybe early July. So this is probably going to adjust a little bit, but it's close to $111 million. Which is up from $109 million from last year. So 1 mill this year, or for next year, is projected to generate $109,000 as opposed to this year, which was almost $107,000. So it's great to see that growth and see that continued increase in our mill value. That does help. Sales tax projections, we projected only about $900,000 in sales tax for FY26, which is less. We projected $1 million in FY25. Sadly, we're probably going to hit about $850 at the best. And I know it's a lot of this construction is preventing people from getting in here and getting out and doing making purchases within the city. So we'll just have to keep working on that and hopefully get some more businesses in here and increase that sales tax revenue. The FY26 total revenues, $23.6 million. Broken down, most of that comes from unrestricted general funds at 24%. The grants, which is probably the largest part, is 62% or $14 million. So again, that was expecting to be able to receive all that money for the canal dredging. Probably not going to get it all in FY26, as that project probably will go into FY27. But we project for it, and then we'll make the adjustments where we have to later. The Mississippi Infrastructure Fund, expecting, I can't see that far, $592,000. Solid waste, we're anticipating revenues of about $913,000. The stabilization, which would be that bank stabilization project, as we spend that money, we'll get that request back to the county. So again, probably not going to be completed in FY26, but we're going to project for that $1.9 million. And then we have a little bit of money left over in our bond proceeds, so I put in $125 for some interest on that one, but we may not even make it that far. Our total expenditures for FY26, $17.7 million for everything. Our general fund expenditures are going to be about $6.3 million, which is about 36% total of our overall revenues, or overall expenditures, I'm sorry. Our Mississippi Infrastructure, I'm projecting about $836,000. That is for the bond that we have to pay back, as well as for paving for next year. Solid waste, anticipated expense on that of $893,000. Same number with bank stabilization, $1.8 million, kind of a come in, come and go out kind of thing. And then our GO bond has about, like I said, about $85,000 left in it that we'll expand on engineering for our paving for next year. And then grants, which is again probably the largest or close to the largest, at $7.7 million. Here are the overall grants that we are anticipating to receive revenue on next year. The Tidelands, Montjoy Creek, if we can get U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to give us that permit, we'll be able to get started on that project and move forward on that one and get that revenue back as we do expenditures. The MDOT project for West Aloha, $800,000. The HUD community grant also for West Aloha, another $1 million that we will be able to receive back from HUD. Then we got that grant awarded to us through Palazzo. The Restore, I have 5.1 because that was the total grant. Now that we have the bids in, it's probably going to be more, like I said, about $4.5 million, but kind of within that same number. The Capital X funds, we received those funds from the state. Our representative, Jay McKnight, actually got us those allocations 2 years ago. So we got that money, and now this is just probably the interest that we'll earn off of it until we actually expend that money directly. Tidelands, the Rotten Bayou Nature Trail, still, if we spend that money, we'll get that $80,000 back for that grant that we received 3 years ago now, somewhere in that. The other funds, GRPC, Go Mesa. The Go Mesa one, that one's out and under contract right now. So as the expenses come in, we'll file for those revenues and get that back. The Go Mesa also for FY23, that is the Coney Calipacona project. So we'll get that. We'll see those revenues coming in, either some this year and then the rest next year. The Jordan River Boardwalk, that's the grant amount that we have on that project, so we'll see that coming back. And then we do have a Mississippi Outdoor Stewardship grant for that. Well, I call it that says Noma Drive Trail, Noma Nature Trail, should say Rotten Bayou Nature Trail, is there the same thing. So it's $500,000 on that project as well. So that's the overall grants revenues. And the expenditure side of that, which of course there will be, I know it only says $7.5 million. Really, they're the same, because as we spend the money, we'll be able to ask for those reimbursements. I was anticipating the canal dredging one to be under contract and have the expense showing up this year. So that's the reason why there's such a discrepancy there. Also, the $1 million from that Capital X money, we've already received the revenue, so the expense will happen in next year. Same grants, just showing you what the other side of the ledger looks like. But somewhere in that 7.7, of course, with the $4 million, $4.5 million, that goes up to 13.5, almost 14, over $14 million. So we'll see how that works out. But overall, it's not really a huge issue. It's just when we do the expense, we'll get the revenue back. So they'll it's a sort of a wash on that. Our solid waste fund is our biggest expenditure fund that we have to be very careful with. The revenue and expenditures for FY26, we are unfortunately looking at an increase to the solid waste fees for next year, and it's not just for next year, it's actually really for the next 4 years. So as you can see, we're projecting a surplus of $20,000. So why are we increasing? It's to cover the expenses that we are projecting for the next 4 years. The contract allows for a CPI increase of up to 5%, and so that's what we put in for, expecting that for the contractor to ask for that amount of money or that amount of increase each year. So we said, well, we got to do that too, and so when we did, we kind of budgeted out and estimated for the next 4 years that we're going to run out of money. So we've got to keep a fund balance on that to cover those expenses. Our total general revenue funds are $5.6 million. How that's received, the majority of that, of course, is general property taxes that received at 61%, licenses and permits, franchise, sales tax, homestead reimbursement, which actually continues to increase, which is a great thing, and then other governmental revenues, as well as road and bridge. And that's the road and bridge that we get from the county. So What this FY26 budget includes is there a 3% salary increase for all employees. We budgeted for a 10% increase of property and liability insurance premiums, which actually I believe last year or this year that we're in, FY25, we actually went down. So it's good to put that in there. It's a cushion that we can use for later. 10% increase on health insurance. And also in here are 5 new positions for Public Works, if needed. That after last night, probably not needed, but we'll see. The different departments that we have, starting off with legislative, which is you guys, the mayor and city council. You're the governing body of the city. You're elected to serve for 4-year terms. Your duties are legislative, while the administration duties are assigned to me. So your overall budget is $59,960, not too much. Salaries $15,000 for the mayor, $5,000 for each council member. There's funds in there for travel and training, and then your surety bonds that for each one of you. Luckily, you guys make up probably actually less than 1%, but we round it up for the overall budget. And speaking of rounding, if you go back and try to add all these numbers up, they're not going to 100% match because of rounding. There's going to be you'll be dollars off at the end. So, but just don't think it's a mistake. It's just the rounding in general. Next department we have is our judicial department, which is our court department, in which they maintain records as well as have court here every 3 Fridays every month. Had a great session last Friday. The total budget for the court department is $177,145. That's 2 employees, 3 contracted services, and possibly right now I have it in the budget for a half-time or a part-time one, which is just in there for, it could always be moved to another department depending on where we need it overall. But I just didn't include it in here. But you have a court clerk, the judge who's already part-time, and then the contracted services of our prosecutor, assistant prosecutor, and public defender. And they make up about 3% of the total budget. Next is administration, which is my department. We handle the payroll, accounts payable, purchasing, and of course, daily city operations. And we have a budget of a little over $1 million, 1,072 in this case. 5 employees, myself, my city clerk, my deputy city clerk, my finance clerk, and then half of a receptionist because her total salary is split between myself and Public Works, and she handles both of those. Other major expenditures in our department is professional fees for IT, legal fees, capital outlay this year for a building, and capital outlay for other. The building's going to be our stage, hopefully, and other will be an electronic sign. Also in there is our grant matching, which is the $800,000 that we have budgeted for that. Again, that's only if we get the grants, and that's important to remember. And we make up about 17% of the total budget for next year. Next one is our police department. We're in an agreement with the Hancock County Sheriff's Department. Our officers have responded to over 9,200 calls since October 1 of last year. That's actually down from, I want to say it was around 13,000 something last year. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but that's the number of responses they've had, which is, I think, still a good thing. Their budget is $1.25 million. That constitutes 12 contracted officers, 1 captain, 1 investigator, and 10 actual officers on the streets. The next year's budget have the interlocal agreement of about set for $1 million. Sadly, I think that's probably a little low. We're probably going to have to go up 1.2 probably to cover it all together, looking at this year's current agreement. There's $50,000 in fuel, and then capital outlay for equipment, cars, or whatever else they may need as a police department. And they make up about 20% of our total budget. Next is planning and zoning. The duties of the planning and zoning is to carry out the development coordinator in conjunction with the building official and the staff. There's 7 planning and zoning commissioners. They meet the fourth Thursday or Tuesday of every month, right here in this right here in this building. So they handle all of the zoning applications, administer all the zoning ordinances, and everything else, and make sure we are compliant with city ordinances. Also, our building department, to which they are actually under, is code enforcement, issuing the permits, building inspections, floor plan management, and other duties. So for the building department, since October of 2024 to present, they've issued 644 permits, 31 single-family residential building permits. They've conducted 2,715 inspections, if you can just imagine that. And so far, the code enforcement has dealt with 743 complaints. There's an asterisk there because we did not have a code enforcement officer to start the year until January. So you got to think that's actually from January to current in July. So it's a lot of complaints to have to deal with, but doing a great job, I would say, as well as our inspectors. I mean, 2,700, and you got to think most of those are without air conditioning or out in the sun and so forth, and it's a tough job. Some things going on currently right now in the city under the building department is subdivision developments. The Diamond Head Lakes Phase 1 has been built out and is complete. That was 47 lots. Phase 2, which is 81 lots, is under preliminary plat approval and is under site development. So they're trying to build the roads right now, I believe, and then getting the final approvals that they need. Phases 3 through 7 have sketch plat approval. We'll just have to wait when they finish 2. They've actually sent us initial drawings for Phase 3, which are really the cul-de-sacs that are going to go off of Phase 2, the main road there. So, but they've already sent those in just to kind of give us a preview of that. The Preserve subdivision, which is Phase 2, which is another 25 lots. That is going to go from the end of Phase 1 to the east to match to connect to Diamond Head Drive West, even though it's going east. That's preliminary plat approval, and it's under site development currently. The sanctuary, actually heard today it was 38 lots and could possibly go up to 40 if last few minute changes that they're doing to it. That has preliminary plat approval. They'll have to come back and make that adjustment if they go up to 40. And but that's under site development. If any of you have been out there at the end of Iona Street, you'll see the new road there. Take a ride through it. It makes a nice little loop through there, coming out on the other side. And it's pretty close to being ready to start for building on this. And the Mauna Kea townhomes are still under construction. The 4-unit building is complete, and a certificate of occupancy was issued on those. They are going to start building on the eastern side to build that one, and then come back and build in the middle. So there'll be 3 total townhomes buildings when they finish. And I think the next one they're going to do is an 8-unit, and then in the middle is a 7, or vice versa. Other developments we have, the Beehive Assisted Living is still under construction. They got a new mechanical contractor out there, and hopefully they'll be moving along and getting that finished. The Alfonso Realty Building is complete as far as their renovations, and the parking lot renovations will be done once MDOT is finished with their work. So that should be very soon. MDOT get out of the way and turn it over to them. They'll be able to do their portion with the parking lot. The new commercial building, which is located next to the Pet Sense, which was the old car wash, if all of you are familiar with that, they have torn the car wash down, and they are building currently what they're calling a 4-site building. And of course, could be 4 tenants, could be 2 tenants, 1 tenant taking it all, who knows. Depending on how that goes, but that's they're going to build the shell, and then whoever moves in, they'll put in the floor plan and get all the utilities put in there. And then Boozer's Brew, which is a coffee shop, plans have been approved, but we have not issued a building permit yet on that one. So the building department's total budget's $509,000 and some change. 6 employees, building official, 2 building inspectors, a building clerk, a development coordinator, and then the code enforcement officer. Some of their biggest expenditures, Engineering, about $50,000. Legal for about $30,000, which covers our planning and zoning meetings. And then consultants with another $20,000. That's mostly for site plans or architectural review of plans to make sure they meet all the requirements. And they make up about 8% of our total budget. Public Works is our big boy. They are responsible for pretty much everything in the city. Cutting grass, drainage, streets, signs, litter control, you name it. They do it all for us and do a great job. Total budget, $2.1 million plus. Currently 16 employees, 1 director, 1 supervisor, 10 workers, a clerk, half-time clerk, and 3 part-time positions, 2 of which are filled. 1 left us for janitorial, so if any janitorial that would like to work part-time, we would love to hire them. And then in this FY26 budget, we have 5 additional positions created if amenities are transferred over to the city to maintain those amenities. Some of the biggest expenditures for Public Works, of course, street lights and irrigation, $220,000 a year. Our engineers, which is paving projects and drainage projects, over $100,000. And then the capital outlay, mobile equipment anticipated. That again is actually for the new employees. So we may not have to spend that if we don't hire new employees. Paving project, we have paving in there, $404,000. Was able to go up that high because I took last year's that we didn't use out of Public Works, and we'll plan on moving that over to this year in FY26. And then there's just other expenditures, almost $200,000. And they make up 34% of our total budget. So they are the largest, but do, like I say, the most and do a great job at it. Next is our economic development. We use this to help try to spur along the city and create growth here within the city. There are no employees in this, but it's $105,000. We have our city events and promotions, which I feel do a great job at promoting the city, bring people in and see what's going on here, and most people seem to enjoy that. And then, of course, we have a lobbyist, which helps us try to secure grants and other things at the state level for us, and then Orion Planning, who does some consulting overall for us. And they make up about 2% of the total budget. And then these are some of our city-sponsored, or all of them, I'm not sure. Of course, our annual Blessing of the Classic, which comes up in October. Christmas on the Town Green, first Saturday in December. National Night Out, which we're looking at doing that in late September this year. The 4th of July event, which obvious. Barbecue and Brews, which we tie in with our Veterans Day Parade. That'll be November the 8th. Our Paddle Paradise, which is, again, the last Saturday in September, which is the 27th. It's a great event, and if you've never done it, I encourage you all to come out and do that. It's wonderful. It's a nice little 4-mile kayak event, and everybody seems to enjoy themselves. Of course, Open Jam Night, which is the third Thursday of every month. From March to October, somewhere in that range. And will be this Thursday night. And then our Mardi Gras Parade, which February, March, depending on when Mardi Gras falls. Some of our funding appropriations that we have proposed for FY26, similar to last year. I am getting some different information about some of this, so we may have to make some adjustments to this for next year. And one of our next to last departments, our debt service department. We have our City Hall building, this one here that we're in. We're on payment, or we'll be on payment number 12 of 15, making this payment for next year. So we are very close to paying this building off, which will be great to have that $100,000 available in the budget for other purposes. And then our brand new vehicle equipment lease that we just closed on and should have our first payment due in 26 of about $80,000. So that'll be payment 1 of 5. And I know if there's a perfect example, if you add all those numbers up, they don't equal $189,766. There is one final payment on our copiers that I just didn't include. It's $150. I think it really was that important to put on here. That's all of our departments. Of course, the last thing that we have is our 900s, which is the transfers, and that's at $800,000 that we're transferring out for grant matches. One of our other biggest funds that we keep an eye on is the Mississippi Infrastructure Fund. As I said, that money is used to make our bond payment for the 22 bond issue that we had, anticipating next year of a total budget of $836,000 that will pay the bond and then or make our bond payment for next year, and then also used for paving. We did not have to use paving money out of this account this year in '25, so that gets to roll over, and that's why we're making a good a good bond or a good paving budget for next year. And some of the other projects that we have that we'll continue on with in FY26, the Montjoy Creek Nature Trail, our Commercial District Phase 3. If we can finalize that, we'll get started on that design. Well, the design is almost done. We'll get that one out and get started on that. That was hopefully will connect us from Park 10 to the intersection there where the four-way stop is, or three-way stop now, but it'll become a four-way stop. Our Jordan River Boardwalk, that will extend the current pier down by the boat launch at Noma. That'll extend that, well, it'll connect to that and then extend all the way around to the MDOT right-of-way. And it'll be just a really neat, I think, a really neat feature that the city and hopefully the residents will enjoy using and walking on. You can fish off of it. You can, you'll have observatories, 3 of them, I believe. So you can climb up onto a second floor and be able to look out over the marsh and observe what's going on out there. Hopefully, educational field trips will be used there as well. Paradise Bayou, the canal dredging project. It's the best picture I have, unfortunately. Like I said, luckily the bids came in under, and so we'll be able to dredge the entire main channel as well as all the inland channels. Looking at going to a -8 feet below mean high tide, so it'll be very nice. Some of those channels, especially those inner channels, I wouldn't say they're probably a foot, if not even mean high tide itself. So it'll be great to get those dredged out, and hopefully that'll help spur some development down there as well. Other projects that we have going on, it seems like they're endless, but our street paving project, of course, will continue that for FY26. The West Aloha, Kalani Drive, Jordan River Boardwalk, Paradise Bayou Canal dredging, all of those. East Aloha Phase 2, we're getting very close, hopefully maybe by the end of this year, fiscal year, or calendar year, not fiscal, we'll be able to get that one out for bid, and that will do the sidewalks and the lighting on East Aloha, so it'll match up to the Park 10 and kind of finish that. Right now, that whole area kind of looks a little unfinished, and so that'll finish it out. It'll be nice. Other drainage projects, the Coon Branch project's going on, like I said, December end date on that one. The Calipacona Pond and Comey Drive projects actually are done, so they'll be done before the FY26, which is okay, to get those finished. And then, of course, the Big Bank Stabilization Project going from where Calipacona Pond ends over to Montjoy Creek, where it begins. And that is it. And I thank you guys. And I thank anyone for attending, and I'll open it up for questions.
Are there any questions from the public for the city manager about the budget? He's happy to answer. Anyone? No, sir. This is a restore project, and this is solely for the Paradise Bayou canals down on the south side. So, yeah, I would love to do that, but it's not my money in this case. Anyone else? Anyone on the council have questions?
No, I'm good.
John, I just had one question. So I know you're estimating tax revenue and all that, so I think you touched on it, but it became clear yesterday that we're not sure what the POA is going to decide to do, and if they decide to keep all the amenities, which is completely within their purview, you'll get an increase in that number, right? Do you have any idea what that might be?
We spoke with the main assessor for Hancock County several weeks ago. He indicated that even if all that went on to the tax rolls, it is not going to change us very much. The 109,000 is probably, he feels is it's 109, yeah.
109.
It's pretty accurate as far as what we will see for next year. It could possibly go up to 110. Now, they actually added all that to the tax rolls currently, so all that is estimated in there.
It's
So,
already estimated.
I want to say he took off the community center as a possibility if that got turned over, just because that was a large number, and he didn't want to say, okay, it's 109, and then all of a sudden take it off and go, oh, no, it's only 106, and
Right.
kind of hurt us there. So he took that little bit off, but that was it. So it's pretty accurate and should be. I think right now we're waiting on the utility estimates. They come in a little later and everything else. So we should be pretty accurate on that number.
Okay, I was just curious how that would affect
Certainly.
the budget. And then I know everyone's worked really hard to keep taxes down. And just, can you remind us, how long it's been since we've seen a tax increase? We've done really well.
I would say as a city, we've never increased taxes. The only thing we did, and it's before me, so I can't say what year it actually was, but we went from 34 mills when we started as a city down to the 29.5. Anybody got a year, 2018 maybe?
So
So yes,
been-
we've done well.
it's been a
Now,
while.
of course, I hate to say that everything's getting more and more expensive around here, so it's, if we don't see some more growth, especially some commercial growth, it's going to get to us at some point, especially to be able to continue. The biggest thing is our requirement of almost $500,000 in paving each year to keep our sales tax money coming to us. So if we can't meet that number,
Right.
we'll lose that sales tax revenue, which is not a good thing. So I can't say for next year
Right.
yet, but we'll see.
But
But we're good this year, or
Good this
are
year.
good for next year.
so thank you for that. Anyone else? Just making sure. No one in the public. Okay. Well, then, at this time, we will end the budget hearing. May I have a motion to approve the August 5th regular meeting minutes?
Move, Shepherd.
May I have a second?
Second, Harwood.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 2025-194, motion to adopt Resolution 2025-041, thereby abandoning a 5-foot drainage utility easement on each side of the common property line between lots 85 and 86, Diamond Head Phase 2, Unit 10, Block 3. The parcel numbers are 132A-1-03-055.000 and 132A-1-03-056.000. The physical address is 6437 Calipacona Way.
Move, Shepherd.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mar. Roll call?
Finley,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Harwood,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Marr,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve consent agenda items 4 through 9?
Move, Finley.
Motion by Finley, I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Action agenda 2025-193, motion to approve the placement of neighborhood development signs in the right-of-way for the Sanctuary Phase 1 subdivision. May I have a motion?
Move, Clark.
May I have a second?
A second, Harwood.
Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Harwood, any discussion?
No, thank you.
Anyone else?
This is a sign just to inform the public of what the construction is. Is that correct?
No, this is a permanent sign, kind of like Diamond Head Lakes.
Okay.
It'll just say the sanctuary.
And
Okay.
because it's in the right of way, that's why they need the approval.
Okay.
And so everybody's on board with it at the building department.
And they've submitted the plan,
Yep, and it's,
For it and-
and it's in your agenda packet as well.
right, okay.
Yep.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, claims payable. Motion to approve docket of claims DKT 233055 through DKT 233087 in the amount of $182,316.47.
Motion Finley.
Okay. May I have a second?
Second, Shepherd.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve payroll payables, PR claim 000244 in the amount of $30,495.86. PR claim 000245 in the amount of $29,938.95. PR claim 000246 in the amount of $3,028.37. DKT 233002 in the amount of $90.72. DKT 233044 in the amount of $90.72. And DKT 233045 through DKT 233054 in the amount of $45,143.90. May I have a motion?
Move, Shepherd.
Second?
Second, Harwood.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to approve department reports and the July 25 financial report?
Move, Shepherd.
Second, Clark.
Second by Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any public comments on non-agenda items? Okay.
I was going to apologize before I tried.
It's been going on for 71 years. Thank you for giving me a few minutes. I'm here to talk about my area. I live at 8919 Malley Way. I wrecked my brand-new 2025 Honda Ridgeline pickup truck with 3,000 miles on it this week, or Friday. Not to my negligence. I was going westbound on Malley Way, approaching Diamond Head Drive East, right there where the old school is. A vehicle had turned on to Diamond Head Drive East. The road width right there is only 18 feet wide, which, according to the National Traffic Institute, is way below the recommended 24 feet. I had to get off to the right to avoid being hit head-on because they came left of center, which they do all day long, and I went into the ditch. These people, they speed through that area constantly. Just to give you a little bit of background, I was a Columbus police sergeant for 30 years in the city of Columbus. I was in the Traffic Bureau for a while. I'm also a graduate of the Ohio Highway Patrol Traffic Investigation course. The problem there is speed. When they come off of Diamond Head Drive East, as they get on Malley Way, they accelerate. The physics of that is their car naturally drifts over the center line, and because that road is so narrow through there, they're bound to hit somebody, so you have to avoid them as they're coming towards you. The issue also there is that roadway, I talked to MDOT today, they recommend that every road should be a minimum of 22 feet. Each lane should be a minimum of 10 feet wide for a vehicle, so that's 20 feet. Nowhere on that road going all the way down around the bend to Kapalama is that road up to snuff as far as width. What I would like to see, and I understand that there was a traffic study about the stop signs that come in off of Kapalama. I would like to see that study, but I understand that the engineer who did that recommended that the stop signs were not beneficial for speed. I disagree with that. City of Columbus, when I was in the Traffic Bureau, we put stop signs everywhere. If they don't do anything else, they slow the traffic down. That's the cheapest form of traffic enforcement that you can put out. The other good thing about that is you can write traffic tickets off of people that don't stop, which I would recommend need to start happening through there. But I would like to see someone come out, take a look at this. I tried to get a hold of someone at Hancock County. Of course, I never got a return phone call from the engineer's office. But I'd be more than willing to give my time and my expertise to help look at that study or help them figure something out. But we have to do something through there.
Thank you. So we'll reach out and set something up and be in touch, and we appreciate your expertise. And
Sure.
I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah, oh, yeah, me too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, any council closing comments? Anyone?
Yeah,
Did
I
you
was
have
gonna
anything?
say, John, very thorough budget, proposed budget, very well organized and easy to follow, even for me. So,
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I only had to kick Shane once.
Anyone else down here? I just want to remind people who might be interested in the kayak event, if you don't have a kayak, that's okay. There are people there who rent them for the day, and it's, as I remember, it's very affordable to just rent a kayak for the day. You can just show up, and
Certainly.
there are people there. So don't let that stop you if you're not a kayak owner. It is a lot of fun. And I do want to remind people that bulk waste pickup is available on your regular garbage day every other week, and you can put up 10 yards of garbage, which is quite a bit. It was explained to me, what did John, what did he say? It's the equivalent of like 10 washing machines in front of your house.
That's what he said.
On bulk waste pickup day. So, you know, everyone's encouraged to take advantage of that if you have bulkier items. And I think that about wraps up everything I had. And is there any need for executive session?
Thankfully, no.
Thankfully, no.
One quick question. On that bulk waste, do they do refrigeration, or they don't food anything that has refrigeration?
No, they will.
Okay.
They will.
Good deal.
Because I specifically asked. We had that issue come up.
Good deal. All right.
Yes, they will. Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Move, Clark.
May I have a second?
Second, Shepherd.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.